Guys, it is the last day of RTA. The season is coming to an end. I know we're all super sad to see it go. RIP Season 17. We got a balance patch coming up. Yuck. Nobody wants that, right? So today, let's bid Season 17 farewell by taking a look at some end-of-season matches. So the game plan for today is we're just going to take a look at whatever matches look fun, whoever's using some interesting stuff. Not too many people using interesting stuff. We see the Fire Unicorn and we don't see too much of the Fire Mage. Fire Mage came out like, what, a month ago? Something like, maybe it's been more than a month already. We don't see much of any of the mages. Well, yeah, we don't see too much of the mages in RTA, actually, but the Fire Mage does have some uses. The Fire Mage is nice against the light Onimusha that we were seeing the opponent pick, right? He didn't get a Violent proc. A lot of times they like to get Violent procs. He did get some stuns, though. We do see I thought the Fire Unicorn was the interesting thing in this matchup, right? The Fire Mage, you don't usually see too much of it, but the Fire Unicorn just comes in and cleans house. Just comes in, additional turns, additional turns wind up. But it's just so nasty. They didn't have any immunity. And the Fire Unicorn, for the same reason as Rika is strong, but I think that the Fire Unicorn is actually a little bit stronger against things that have passives, like, for example, Juno that has passives, that has a passive that cleanses, where the Rika is just the sitting duck in that situation. It's like, well, they're going to cleanse for a whole lot. But the Fire Unicorn... defense breaks, attack gauge pushbacks as well. So defense break is really nice, especially like against the Judo. Defense break is really nice to make sure she does damage. Attack gauge pushback so she doesn't get her passive and heal for a billion dots, right? Like Rika would. So in some instances, one is better than the other. Usually the Rika is better, but for things like Juno and some passives, the Fire Unicorn is actually pretty nice. So this next match is C3 versus C3. I thought this would be an interesting one to see because we don't usually see too much of the Dark Anubis or the Light Chimera, so we get to see both of those units today. The control team didn't even bring in a speed lead, but they weren't even, the opponent wasn't even really trying to outspeed, so they didn't really need a speed lead in that situation, right? So goes for the strip, gets AoE stun. I think it's funny how the Oki, usually we think of like you strip first and then you CC with like the Oki, right? But the Oki goes first. Oki's got a much higher base speed, so this is definitely a swift Oki in that instance. So it does get the Lulu to do immunity on the team, right? But this whole thing with the C3 and the Fighter 3 as well, right now is a lot of people are queuing up in C3, so we're going to see a lot of C3 today because everyone's trying to get G1. Everyone's trying to get G1. They're like, oh, if I just do all my wings, I'll get G1. It's like, there's a ton of whales just all trying to get the same rank. Like, there's only this many people that can get the rank. It's just a just a whale fight. It's just like people smashing credit cards against each other. So we're seeing some Diana Pew Pew action. Increase attack age right there, so it's looking like she's on Nemesis. We're seeing some okay, we didn't see more Diana action. Diana could have gone a little bit crazier even. Whoop. Okay, now Diana's definitely taking care of this Praha. But yeah, there you go. I just thought it'd be interesting to see some of this Sean. The Sean at least got the skill off. We didn't see too much of the Sean. But yeah, taking the Bay into some I wanted to say like the Guardian level RTA. It's like it's no, it's C3 level. Technically it's C3 level RTA. Still a lot of points, still almost 2,000 points. But the thing is right now that, and it happens like this a lot, but now it's pretty crazy, man. There's, like, you get to C3, and then hundreds and hundreds of points later, there's like 300 plus points later, is G1. And then you get to G1, and then like a few dozen points later is G2. It's like C3, and then G1. Like G2. Like, if you're gonna get G1, you may as well get G2 or G3 at that point. Like, if you're still winning, just get G1 or G2 because it's not that much further. But oh my god, it's just RTA. People are just like, I just want to end the season with a red star, at least one. I don't even care about the second one. I don't want to play this game. I just want to get the first one. Just give me a red star so my friends don't make fun of me. That's all of us in RTA. That's the whole thing. Or a gold star or whatever. They just want to get like to that star color, and then they don't give a damn after that. They're like, I just want that one color, and then I'm set. Another C3 versus C3, which we've been seeing. I thought this one was interesting. They have two LD5s in there. They have an Ileana. Bans the Ileana over. Really? Bans the Ileana over everything else. So that is a shield will bruiser style of cleave. Also, you usually don't see too many Chiwus and Barbaras this season. That's kind of like an older meta comp. Chiwu kind of fell out of favor because people could just pick the Vertiheel. Well, people could pick more than just that into it, but Vertiheel and Water Ryu. Water Ryu is basically just since Water Ryu has not come into the game, but been able to be used in RTA. And there's the shield will bruiser cleave kind of thing coming into play. But since Water Ryu has kind of come into being able to be used in RTA now, that's kind of made way for Chiwu to exit. So then there's two counters to, like, as soon as someone picks Chiwu, you pick Water Ryu. Like, I don't have Water Ryu, Bagel. Yeah, well, if you do high level RTA, you do. So Water Ryu and Vertiheel. But that's why Chiwu has kind of fallen out of meta. And then the Barbara, you just pick a Leo into Barbara. Leo, so that you usually don't see Barbara first picked really not that often anymore. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to see little double LD shield will cleave team. Speaking of more of the older meta units, this guy on the left-hand side is definitely picking some things that are not super common picks. Well, I mean, the Ganymede is a pretty common pick, right? But usually, like, this was a team that you would see a couple seasons ago, not necessarily right now, is like the Ganny Hathor, because artifacts made other things strong and kind of weakened Hathor, because Hathor doesn't really get much better with artifacts. However, something like Juno or Oki get much better with artifacts. So you usually don't see, I mean, people still pick the Hathors, don't get me wrong. It's not that people are not picking them, but you usually don't see too many of those nowadays after the artifacts came into play. People have kind of started to gravitate a little bit more towards the Hathors lately. Just like, oh, people aren't expecting the Ganny Hathor, let me do the Ganny Hathor. But yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to see I thought it'd be fun to see a Ganny Hathor? What is wrong with me? Did I really think that was going to be a fun thing? I really thought that was going to be a fun thing to see, guys. Let's see a Ganny Hathor. Alright, so Girl's Purr, she does not get an additional turn. Does Hathor get an addition? This is the whole situation, is just do these things get additional turns, right? So, I don't know why, guys. I really don't know why I thought Ganny Hathor match was going to be an interesting thing to see. I just thought it was going to be interesting because we don't usually see too much of it nowadays, right? So thank goodness for all those defense breaks. Otherwise, this would have been a 4.5 hour long match. Guess those, extra additional turns. More additional turns. This is an additional turn spotlight, guys. Oh, what I meant to say was RTA match. It's synonymous. It's basically the same thing. It's RTA match, additional turn spotlight. Ganny Hathor is still a thing. You can still make Ganny Hathor work. In 2021, Season 17, Ganny Hathor was nerfed, kind of based on artifacts, and then you still use it, though. Today's video is brought to you by LD5s. I mean, it's an RTA video, so you kind of expect that today's video would be brought to you by LD5s. But Happy on the left-hand side, Happy uses some interesting stuff here and there. He's got the Dark Sea Emperor, bans out the Fire Art Master, and the opponent's going for a bruiser team with HP lead and Lulu. A lot of times you see Mo Long in that comp as well. So they first picked the Leo, though. And then the last pick on Happy side was a Barbara, so you could kind of tell that they were going to ban the Leo. Leo is a direct counter to the Barbara, so you kind of tell that that's the one that they were going to ban out, right? So he goes for the Barbara skill 2 instead of Barbara skill 3 right at the beginning, because he wanted to make sure that he got that stun from Gianna. He still didn't get the stun from the Gianna, but now it is what it is. Let's see. I feel like this Barbara is still going to do good against the, well, as long as Barbara, I was going to say as long as Barbara Violent procs, Barbara's not necessarily going to Violent proc. But this Mananananon is going to do just, like, you see he's doing the splash damage every turn, right? So, gets the fast attack. You know what I was going to say I should bring Barbara more against those Verd, Leo, and Lulu comps, because Verd, Leo, Lulu is kind of a toxic combination. It's just like cleanse, 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 heal, 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 cleanse, 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 cleanse. I'm like, oh my god, stop all the turns and cleansing and things like that. But the thing is, like, the Leo's already accounted the Barbara, so then you would have to already have planned out to ban the Leo in that comp regardless. Another Happy RTA battle, another funny, happy RTA battle. Another Leo first pick. People picking Leo first picks. So this one, he's using the Water on Miyuji, I think is a really fun pick. He's got the bombs from the Gianni. He's got the stuns from the Gianni. He's got the continuous damage from the Rika. He's got all of those harmful... I mean, he went for it pretty aggressively. He could have decided to go for it after the Rika moved. But all of those harmful effects just get applied. Any harmful effects that have gone on throughout the course of the entire battle get applied to all of the enemies, and then any beneficial effects that anyone's received over the course of the whole battle, those get applied to. It's only just one turn, right? But those get applied to all of your allies. So it's potentially a pretty nasty unit in certain situations. It's not like a unit that you pick everywhere. It's just a unit. Like, for example, if your opponent or if the teams, if the current battlefield is like Leo, Verd, Molong, you're not going to get a lot of value out, or Artemiel, like you're not going to get a lot of value out of that because there's not a lot of debuffs, there's not a lot of buffs. But if something like here, where with the Gianna and the Rika, and then like the Nephthys also was going to be really, really nasty. And then the Fire Heart Master, there's so many buffs, there's so many debuffs, you get a lot of value out of the Water on Miyuji in that comp. This next one starts normal enough. They have a Fire Art Master. They're trying to go for like a more aggressive control team, and then the opponent goes for, they pull out the Ragdoll, and they're like, okay, let me switch to like a more of a bruiser team. And then they go this little back and forth. The opponent, Leon, goes for a little bit more of a bruiser team with the double Dragon Knights, and then this Japanese player goes for a double continuous damage, very nasty control continuous damage kind of situation, right? So you're not doing too much damage through actual like damage where you have attack, crit damage, attack, and that's how you kill things. They're doing all this continuous damage, which is really strong against the Ragdolls. Really strong against the Ragdolls, really strong also against the Mollies, which, I mean, Molly's in a scroll right now. But it's really strong in general against the Mollies because you're doing so much continued. Molly can only cleanse one thing with her skill 2, right? So it's really strong against the Molly, having all that continuous damage, all those slows, all those stuns. Molly can't do everything, right? I mean, Lulu would be strong against like the Rika and the Thrain, but yeah, it's too much for the opponent's team to handle, bringing both of those nasty control. They basically TOA harded them, right? So there we go, and then the Molly's not going to be able to do what Molly needs to do, right? Especially if she's actually taking... This Molly's actually taking debuffs. I can never... When I fight a Molly, she takes no debuffs. Ever. No debuffs, like 100%. I mean, Molly a lot of times is on 100% resistance, but, well, maybe this person's Molly wasn't on 100% resistance, and that's why they took all these debuffs. But yeah, Molly actually taking debuffs. It's a crazy thing to see. This next one is absolutely crazy, guys. This guy is using so many just unusual LD5s. Well, maybe not. Some of them are not unusual, like the Nephthys is not unusual. People use the Wall Young every so often. But just the fact he brought in Eludia got banned. He brought in the light Ryu, Light Striker, so that did not get banned. Usually it doesn't. A lot of people like to complain about the Light Striker. So he gets the Hadouken, and then he gets an additional turn and just finishes the entire team. Light Striker is kind of like, Light Striker, Light Ryu is kind of like Alicia, like how Alicia would kill something and then get another turn if... or do some damage, and then if something dies, get another turn, and then come in and do some extra damage with skill 2. So Light Ryu is kind of like the same situation, and did pretty well. You know, we're going to take a look at another Light Ryu one, because you don't really see too much of that, and I think this is like such a crazy comp, man. We have to see some more of this, because it's such a crazy comp. So, bans the Nephthys. They do still have a defense break with the Eludia. They have the attack power buff, they have the defense break, and then they have some big nukes. So, let's see what exactly... goes on. You got the Purifying Blaze, you got the Blaze, then you get some big new. He didn't even need another turn. He just needed the one turn, and that's GG. So at this point, we're just going down the internet rabbit hole of taking a look at this guy's matches, because what is this stuff? He's got so many LD5. He's got Yenhong too. We didn't even see the Yenhong before. We were seeing Eludia, we were seeing Light Ryu. He's got Yenhong, so he picks out the Yenhong Triton and Feng Yan at the very end. So this looks like it is a very fast Swift Yen. Who even knows how fast this is? Swift Yenhong does a lot of debuffs onto that Juno, which is potentially pretty nasty. Gets a Blade Fan, just instantly deletes the Ryu. Heals everything with the... Well, I mean, he healed everything with that Juno, but the thing is, like, there's really not that much threat on the opponent's side, aside from additional damage with the Juno. That's kind of like the biggest threat. But there's 2 healers. That's the thing. There's 2 healers on the Japanese player side. So even if... And there's defense breaks, and there's big damage from the Yenhong skill 3, right? So there's just... It's not that it's just cleave. It's kind of a fast cleave kind of thing, but also with some sustain as well. Kind of weird to see some of the picks that he used. The heal block is actually good against the Yenhong, though, because Yenhong's skill 3 is not like the Chasun Fallen Blossom skill. It's not like Fallen Blossoms. It does need to actually heal. It doesn't, like, balance HP. So if she has a heal block, that kind of... I mean, you still get the attack gauge buff from it. But if it's got the heal block, then you don't actually get the heal from it. So actually, these werewolves are a nice kind of thing that a lot of people have built. If you're going up against the Yenhong, you can just take advantage of the werewolf skill 1 actually heal blocking, like we saw there. But I just wanted to kind of mention a little bit more what was going on. So now it's just the Juno versus the world, really. But the Yenhong eventually is just going to do enough damage. That's why he's targeting the Yenhong. Yenhong's going to do enough damage to just, like, blast through the Juno. Yeah. I was actually expecting a little bit more damage, but that's good enough. I cannot get enough of this guy's matches. So the next one, we see Nephthys, Walyoung, Tiana, and Eludia. No, Light Ryu, what? Bans out the Leo. I would have done the same. There is 2 counters to his team, though. There is... Well, I mean, there's a lot of counters to the team, actually. The Vertiheal is going to Revenge. The Moore is going to... Well, he's going to decrease the attack gauge and increase the cooltime. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, also the Diana is going to increase the attack gauge, but that's why he went for the decreased attack gauge with skill 3 on the Art Master, is because all of these things are going to increase their attack gauge. Like Vertiheal is going to passively increase his attack gauge. Water Ryu is going to or the whole team's attack gauge. Water Ryu is going to increase his attack gauge. Diana is going to increase their attack gauge. So against some aggressive teams, like all of these things that increase attack gauge are very strong. Last match, we're taking a look at this guy again. I think his matches are fantastic, so I want to keep taking a look at them. So Gianna and the Water Art Master in the same team. I've seen that happen before. People like to pick their own counters so that no one can counter them. Gets defense broken. Not really too much they can do about that. And then just gets nuked from the Water Ryu. And that's that. That's that. There's nothing really they can do about it. And this is against a G3 player. Picking the Walyoung. Picking the Tiana. Picking the Eludia. So these are things that are generally considered not very high in the tier list because they're not that good, except that they're beating G3 players with these things, which just means that it's not about the tier list and always pick the things on the top of the tier list. It's about what's the right unit for the situation and do you know how to play with the comp that you're trying to play with. Also, another thing to mention is a lot of these uncommon units are really underrated because when you take in uncommon units, your opponent doesn't know how to deal with you. They're like, I was not expecting this. I was expecting a Leo, a Lulu, a Molong, a Fire Bison, or I was expecting a double Art Master, Water Ryu. Like, they're not expecting like a Tiana, Walyoung, Eludia. They're like, oh, that's not what I thought was going to happen, right? So a lot of times it'll catch people off guard, and sometimes that's even stronger than picking the things that are meta based on the situation, right? Sometimes that's stronger than picking the things that are the meta units where you're supposed to use this certain unit. Sometimes there's other things that are better for the job that people aren't, or not better for the job, but that just could be more effective because people are not expecting them and they're not accustomed to dealing with that play style that you're gonna just randomly bring out of nowhere. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed the last few amazing, wonderful hours of RTA. Hopefully this balance patch that comes out soon, because balance patches are always after RTA. Hopefully this balance patch that comes out soon is going to be a good one. I'm not holding my breath too much because the last one was kind of a dud, but a couple things were good from it, but for the most part it was kind of disappointing. But we'll see. Again, not holding my breath, but maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. We won't be. Anyway, that's it for this one. See you guys always in the next one.